Good morning, everyone. Jane Monreal here with you. It is 9 o'clock Monday morning. Welcome to a new work week. In the Charlotte area, boy, is it hot, hot, hot. They make songs about that. Hot, hot, hot. And so right here at the top of the newscast from the Live Impact studio is Chris Mulcahy joining us now. And we are going to be weather alert today, Chris.
Yeah, don't forget about certain artists that used to wear Band-Aids on their faces. That's another good hot song.
Yep, Hot in Her.
Yeah, Hot in Her.
Hot in Her,
Yep,
yes.
Yes, if you don't know, Nelly used to have one Band-Aid he used to wear on his face, and then he does not do that anymore for some reason.
He's grown up.
Yeah, so yesterday, 95 was our high, so that was our hottest day. Today, 98 is the high I have, and looks like today could be the first time that we're feeling like the hundo mark, and we could be 100 degrees actual air temperature tomorrow. Who's excited?
No one.
Ooh, okay, no, yeah, me neither. Truly, you're going to have these spikes occasionally, and we're going to get into actually how rare 100-degree temperatures are typically here in the Charlotte area. But first, let's go to 5 different cameras. I say 5, it's usually 6, but Beach Mountain decided to quit on me. There was things happening there. But everything's gorgeous. So it's a beautiful shot in all these cameras. Blue skies, but looks can be deceiving, as the saying goes. And that's exactly it, because we're going to have that sunshine all day long. And how hot it felt yesterday was 98 degrees Charlotte, 97 was the peak around Gastonia, and then 96 in Concord. The thing with yesterday is we hit a high of 95 for actual air temperature, but the moisture values actually came down. It wasn't overly muggy. If there's certain afternoons you're like, ugh, gross feeling. And yesterday it was hot, but it wasn't grossly hot because of that moisture value. And we don't really have that either today. I think you have the best shot at hitting that 100-plus mark about how we feel. I think 102 looks to be kind of a safe bet. But our highs today, right around 98. 100, I think, is going to be the first shot around Chirac. 96 around Hickory. Big thing today, lots of sunshine, not much of a breeze. That is where that heat just stacks up. And we're also into the heat dome where heat starts to build. Our record high for this day in climatology, 100 degrees set back in 2015. And 2015 was actually a significant stretch because that was the last time we had multiple 100-degree temperatures in a given summer. And I'll actually get right to that. So last year we hit 100 degrees, and it was 2 years before that we hit 100 degrees once during a summertime. But check this out. Between 2021 back to 2016, we did not hit 100. It is actually more rare occurrence to hit 100 degrees once during a summer than for us to actually hit it multiple times. Okay. But back in 2015, we did hit it 5 times. It's actually incredible. So dating back to 1879, we've had a total of 139 100-degree days here in Charlotte. 29 in June, 74 in July, 31 in August, and 5 in September. The last time that we did it here in Charlotte was July 5th, 2024, a day after July 4th, obviously. 350 days ago, 101 degrees. And the other stat I have for you is I mentioned that this is pretty much a rarity. Well, this is according to Tricia Palmer from the National Weather Service here at Greenville-Spartanburg, that 45 Charlotte summers have hit 100 degrees plus 1 or more times. 2024 was one of them. So that makes 31% of all of our Charlotte summers hit 100 degrees. The other ones don't. So usually when we have a shot of it, say if this hits 99, we do that all the time. But it's odd. And the hottest we've ever been in Charlotte history, 104. We can't get past that mark. So just a little bit of climatology there, just kind of put in perspective. Tomorrow's the only day that thinks that we will hit 100 at Charlotte Douglas, but just wanted to let you know. Here's our splash pad forecast.
Is that JT?
That is JT.
Aww.
As I mentioned, I don't like to show his face or anything like that, even though it's the cutest thing ever. A kid could be a model, but instead he'll just be a splash pad model for me. And plus, that I can legally use this. But we've been going to a lot of splash pads recently, just because it's been so hot. And the thing is with the splash pads is like JT invited me to go out on there when you have the wet pavement is wonderful, but then trying to get to your towel, that's where where it's frighteningly hot. So any of that concrete that's surrounding a splash pad, this is actually Latta Park in Dilworth, by the way. I've never been there. We try to do once per week. The actual concrete could be as much as 130 degrees. Blacktop as much as 150 to 155. And I took my dog for a walk yesterday around 10 to 11. And do you know those Play 60 areas the Charlotte Panthers have?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't realize that that's essentially made up of old tires and ground up rubber.
Yeah.
That's getting just as hot. So yeah, you be careful about those different surfaces. Like Romeo started walking on, I started whimpering. I was like, "What's wrong?" I felt this, like, "Oh, dude, I'm so sorry," because I thought it was okay. It's just fake grass that's hot rubber, so be careful of those type of deals. As far as how we're actually going to be feeling today, I think the max is about 99 to 103, so somewhere in that range for our big real feels. But going back to splash pad, not to just show the back of JT's head, but the extreme UV index, so it goes up to 11, usually peaks around 1 p.m. 11 to 3 is the technical range, but it's really from noon to 2 that each and every day, at least over the next month or so, that's where you have your highest chance to burn. That's because the sun's angle is the highest. That's where you get the most UV rays. So if you're going to wear sunscreen or you don't want to, this is the time to do it, right around noon to the early morning hours, or early afternoon hours, excuse me. And that's also the kind of weird thing here too, because look at 8 p.m., 96 degrees. So that means by the latter part of the evening, and here I'll bring up tonight, we're still going to have a heat index likely in the 90s to close out the evening. That's how significant it is. And if I bring up tonight's forecast, watch this. 85 feels like 90. See, the night forecast, the numbers are in blue because it's usually for wind chills, not like anything specifically. 3 a.m., 80s feeling like 84, and even 77 still feeling like 81. So we're realistically, because we're holding on to more moisture overnight tonight, still going to have a heat index for all hours of the day and all hours of the night. That is substantial, and that just really shows how hot it is. And when you're that warm through the overnight and that much moisture, you're going to have something like this. Like we already had 78 that was feeling like 80 degrees and going forward. We also are going to be looking out for some heat advisories. That is Stanley, Anson, and Richmond County that is under a heat advisory for today until 8 o'clock. And then we look forward to an extreme heat watch for the same counties in all areas off towards the east. Now, it's complicated where we live because there are 4 different National Weather Service offices that divide us up. Greenville, Spartanburg, that covers most of our counties, they say they're not doing a heat advisory. They said it's pretty much as close as you can come because when things are starting to feel like 105 plus, that's where they'll issue one. Tomorrow, I think the absolute hottest that we'll have for the Charlotte area is 105. But it's not going to be visited that long. So it's usually for 2 or 3 hours that they will want it to reach that mark to have an advisory or a watch or a warning. So likely this will turn over to an extreme heat warning, but worst case scenario for tomorrow, we will have a heat advisory for Charlotte showing that, hey, you could feel as much as 105 degrees because our peak heat index, as I mentioned, 103, 105, 104. After that, these start to come down. Temperatures actually come way down, but the moisture comes up. So the way the heat index formula and how our bodies work, the more moisture that's in the air, the hotter that we can actually feel because we don't sweat as much. So that allows us to pretty much retain a lot more heat so our bodies start to overheat. And that's why we usually give an advisory. Whenever there's a heat advisory, that means that heat exhaustion is likely. Whenever you have an excessive heat warning, that means that heat stroke becomes more likely. So that's kind of the dividing line there. Today's forecast I mentioned is 98, 100, 98, 94. So 94 still could feel like close to 100. But one thing that really changes going forward is that we start to see the return of our rain and thunderstorm chances. So we have this big old heat dome, this big guy that's going to prevent the rain. But then outside of this, sometimes you can have what's called ridge riders, or my favorite term, the ring of fire. I fell into a burning ring of fire. And what this just means is the way that there's a rotation of clockwise rotation around a high pressure system, you can have some storms that sometimes ride on the outside. So as this starts to shrink and moves off towards the west, that's what we could have. Also, troughs can develop. It just really just gives us a better chance for rain. So I have a scattered likelihood that we have rain pop up on Wednesday and Thursday. But these are the type of storms that pop up, they exhaust themselves for up to a 45-minute period, and then new ones start to form nearby. And I'm going to show you exactly what that looks like. Problem with these is since they're so slow moving that if certain pieces move over the same area at certain points, we also have flash flooding potential. So we're weather alert today, tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday for heat, but then also kind of an outside chance for a little bit of localized flooding and lightning and all that jazz to end your Wednesday and Thursday. So welcome to summer, y'all,
Yep.
here in the Carolinas. Here's a look. You have a chance for rain on your Wednesday morning, but I think this is interesting. Notice these storms starting to evolve. This is 3 o'clock and then 5 o'clock. Not really much moved, so that literally is the outflow, which is the cold, rain-cooled air, pushes out into the warm air mass and pops up new thunderstorms. You see this all the time. Look what happens from 5 to 8. It just kind of circulates back around. So it almost creates its own little low pressure system as it's starting to feed into itself. So I think it's really late Wednesday through your Wednesday evening. You have a chance for slow moving thunderstorms. These are the ones on this environment when it's this warm that it's really loud thunder, or the ones that resonate if they jog into the evening. And we'll do that again heading into your Thursday. So your 7-day forecast, this is super hot, and then we have regular hot after this.
Just regular hot.
Just regular hot.
We'll
you know,
be happy with regular hot, I guess.
it's about perspective, y'all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yep, you're right.
You turn up to 100, it's like 92. It's like, ooh, this is nice.
yeah,
great.
feels good.
So there it is. And people focus on the graph, like the peak heat index, so much. Literally, that's the hottest you will feel. Most likely today, 98 will feel like 100 to 102 for the max. 100 is still just a possibility. Even the 100-degree day, you're in the mid to the upper 90s most of it. And that's just the absolute top. So if you have like kind of a peaked graph like this, it literally is just that little pinnacle that you're visiting for a very brief amount of time. But we're always going to say the worst that it could feel. So there it is. Heading into the weekend, just usual summer pattern. Our typical average is 89. That moves to 90 by the end of the month. And then we hit 91. So it's really just business as usual once we get past this big heat wave.
Yeah,
Wow.
splash pad was the key.
Splash
Oh,
pad.
it was huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think today, because Dad doesn't feel like doing it, I'm going to find something inside to do with the young one. So,
Yeah.
AC.
yeah.
Yeah.
Something with AC. Yeah,
All right,
exactly.
it's exhausting. I mean, there is that, the heat just
Yeah.
kind of,
It takes it out of you.
it takes it out of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and truly, like, if you do things in the morning, you're fine. But we were out and about around 10 o'clock on Saturday. But then once you get to noon to 1 where you have that sun right above you, you're like, ugh,
Yeah.
I'm moving slower.
Yeah. I did go to Crowder's Park.
Oh,
and,
how's that?
Walked through the shade, mostly through trees.
Okay.
And and it was in the morning.
Yep.
So it was also tolerable.
Same.
Yeah.
I was out and about at 10.
Okay, yeah,
The
see?
weenie dogs.
Did it in the morning.
That's usually, oh, yeah, how did the weenie
I have a surprise for you.
Oh,
Sorry.
you
Oh,
do?
what do you
Out.
have?
Okay, I'm so excited.
Ready?
Yes.
Do it.
What?
I took video of the weenies
Oh
for
my
you.
gosh.
Oh
This
my
is-
gosh.
It was a bunch of us. It was
Wow.
around 10 a.m. So, and thankfully, as you can see, a lot of the
Wow.
park was shaded. So it
Yes.
was really nice for us
For dogs and dog parents.
and dog parents. So yeah.
Oh my
About
goodness.
That
30
is
to,
a
30 to
meetup.
40 of them out there
Oh
at
my
like
gosh.
the peak.
Carlene, that is so
Wow.
cute.
This is what joy looks like.
Yes.
It was a joyous time.
Oh
Turkey
my
have a good time.
He had a
gosh.
great time.
And then probably exhausted. So had
yeah,
some good napping.
He was tired
That's what
after
it's
that.
about with the
We were only out
doggies.
there for an hour, and it was enough.
Yeah.
You know?
Wow. yeah,
awesome.
yeah. The walk that I went on with Romeo, he circles like a cat when he's trying to lay down, but he
Yep.
did one circle and just plopped, like it shook
Just
things.
Yours flops.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Romeo flops too. So Turkey, if he's done, just
Yep.
flops.
And a good reminder, though, for pets with their paws.
Yes.
This is nice in the cool grass and the shade, but what is it, 7 seconds?
7 seconds
To the
back of your hand
Back of the hand,
to
right?
test.
The
Yep.
things we learn.
Yes,
We got it.
We got you covered.
All right.
Yeah. So one word: hot.
hot.
Even for wiener dogs.
Hot, even for wiener dogs.
That was great. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah. Thanks a lot. That was great.
Adorable.
See, I was here. Now I'm up here.
right.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah,
That's
it's a
awesome.
Monday.
Smiley
Let's
face.
give you some weenie dogs.
Oh
and-
man. Yeah, can you go to that if you don't have a wiener
Yeah,
dog? Okay.
sure.
I just wanted to double
To
check.
just to watch.
Yeah, just
it's
just
like people watching.
Yeah.
Dog
Yeah, I wasn't
watching.
sure if it was frowned
didn't know.
upon if all of a
No.
sudden you're coming to a wiener dog event without one. So
No, you
okay,
can
that's
come
good.
With me.
That's
No,
okay,
next one. We do
all
it
right.
once a month.
Oh, you do plus ones. Okay, that's awesome.
Oh yeah, for
That's
sure.
great. All right, Chris Mulcahy, thank you for coming in.
Stay
and,
cool.
Good stuff. We're going to try to stay cool, cool-minded, cool heads, and drink a lot of water.
Drink a lot of water.
Yeah, stay hydrated.